Charles Dickens' Great Expectations is a richly woven tale of ambition, love, and self-discovery, published in serial form from 1860 to 1861. Set in the misty Kent marshes and bustling London, the story follows Pip, an orphaned blacksmith's apprentice. The eccentric Miss Havisham, the cold Estella, and the convict Magwitch shape his journey. Dickens employs a satirical yet gothic style to examine themes of class, guilt, and the disparity between appearance and worth, ultimately arguing that true nobility lies in the heart rather than in wealth or status. The story follows Pip, an orphan raised by his harsh sister and her kind-hearted husband Joe Gargery, a blacksmith. It begins in the marshes of Kent, where young Pip encounters an escaped convict, Magwitch, who forces him to steal food and a file. Despite his fear, Pip helps the convict, an act that sets in motion life-altering events. Soon after, Pip is introduced to the wealthy and eccentric Miss Havisham, who lives in a decaying mansion, forever clad in her wedding dress. Miss Havisham has adopted a beautiful but cold-hearted ward, Estella, with whom Pip falls deeply in love. Believing Miss Havisham intends Estella to be his future wife, Pip aspires to rise above his humble origins and become a gentleman worthy of her. Pip's fortunes take an unexpected turn when he learns of a mysterious benefactor who provides the means for him to move to London and live as a gentleman. Assuming the benefactor is Miss Havisham, Pip grows increasingly estranged from his roots, looking down on Joe and his simple life. In London, Pip befriends Herbert Pocket, a cheerful and loyal companion, and begins refining his manners under the guidance of the lawyer Jaggers. As Pip matures, he becomes entangled in the complexities of his new life. He discovers that his benefactor is not Miss Havisham but Magwitch, the convict he aided as a child. Magwitch, having made a fortune in Australia, wishes to repay Pip's kindness by transforming him into a gentleman. This revelation shatters Pip's assumptions and forces him to confront his prejudices and moral shortcomings. Meanwhile, Pip learns more about Miss Havisham's tragic past. Jilted at the altar years earlier, she raised Estella to break men's hearts as revenge against the world. Estella, however, reveals that she is incapable of love, a result of Miss Havisham's manipulation. Despite this, Pip remains devoted to her, even as she marries the brutish Bentley Drummle, leaving Pip heartbroken. Magwitch's presence in England grows increasingly perilous as he is hunted by the authorities and by his old enemy, Compeyson, the man who jilted Miss Havisham. Pip, Herbert, and Wemmick, Jagger's pragmatic clerk, devise a plan to help Magwitch escape. However, the plan fails, and Magwitch is captured. In the ensuing struggle, Compeyson drowns, and Magwitch is gravely injured. Before his death, Pip reveals his gratitude and affection, comforting Magwitch by sharing that his daughter is alive. Unbeknownst to Magwitch, Estella is his child. Pip's financial expectations crumble when the state confiscates Magwitch's wealth. Stricken by guilt and illness, Pip returns to his roots, where Joe nurses him back to health. Humbled by his experiences, Pip seeks to make amends with those he has wronged, including Joe and Biddy, who have married in his absence. In the novel's conclusion, Pip reunites with Estella at the ruins of Satis House. Having endured her trials, Estella has grown wiser and more compassionate. The two reconcile, and Dickens leaves their future relationship ambiguous, suggesting the possibility of a renewed connection. Great Expectations remains a masterpiece that deconstructs the Victorian dream. Its central theme, the futility of social climbing at the expense of one's soul, resonates in Pip's moral decline and eventual rebirth. Dickens's motivation was deeply personal, reflecting his anxieties about his rapid rise to fame and his lingering shame over his impoverished childhood. He uses the novel to critique the legal and class systems that prioritize a gentlemanly veneer over human compassion. The novel is celebrated for its vivid characterization and recurring motifs. The marshes' pervasive fog and the decaying Satis House serve as atmospheric symbols of Pip's internal confusion and the stagnation of the upper class. The plot twist revealing Pip's benefactor's identity is a brilliant technical pivot that forces both the protagonist and the reader to confront their prejudices. Magwitch's transformation from a beast to a self-sacrificing father figure provides the novel's most profound moral lesson. Great Expectations is a masterful exploration of ambition, identity, and redemption. Through Pip's journey from humble beginnings to self-awareness, Dickens examines the corrosive effects of wealth and social class while celebrating the enduring power of kindness and loyalty. The novel's richly drawn characters, including the tragic Miss Havisham, the loyal Joe, and the enigmatic Estella, add depth and complexity to the narrative. Dickens' vivid prose and keen social commentary make Great Expectations a timeless tale of personal growth and the search for meaningful values.